troubles walk round your bed in the morning, and when your tears start to fall just like rain, you better find you a new song to sing, 'cause the blues ain't nothing but some pain. When sorrows stay by your door like a storm cloud, seem to drive you completely insane, you better find you that new song and sing loud, 'cause the blues ain't nothing, nothing but some pain. For every bad side there must be a good one, and if you look hard you'll most likely find one. I speak the truth, 'cause it happened to me. Don't let your dreams fall and shatter all in vain. Just hold your head high and listen to me, 'cause the blues ain't nothing but some pain. It happened to me. Don't let your dreams, don't let them shatter and fall in vain. Just hold your head high, yes, and listen to me, 'cause the blues ain't nothing, 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 nothing but something. I know that the blues ain't nothing but some.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, bright and early. Graduates, faculty, family, and friends, welcome to the College of Liberal Arts graduate student graduation and hooding ceremony. This event celebrates the master's and doctoral students in the humanities and social sciences who have graduated in August 21, December 21, and May 22. My name is Amy Duffaball, and I'm the Director of Graduate Affairs for the College of Liberal Arts. I oversee graduate affairs in the college from admissions to graduation, and I am honored to be your host this morning. Our ceremony will include remarks from our dean, Dr. Richard Deeg. His name and signature will be on your diploma. It's actually on mine too, since I graduated just a few years ago. We will then hear from our faculty speaker, Dr. Rebecca Alpert, and then move to our student address from Jalen Buxton Punch from our Master of Public Policy program. And then, the reason we've all gathered here today, the roll call. I feel like I should end this summary with, please let me know if you have any questions, because that's how I end most of my emails to all of you graduate students. But for now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Richard Deeg, our dean.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. I guess you know my name by now, so I don't need to introduce myself. But I want to begin by welcoming you, our students, family and friends, and of course the illustrious faculty on the stage here today. It's an honor to be here to celebrate this achievement. Today we are hooding 22 PhD students. In a few minutes you'll understand what I mean with that verb. It's not easy to be a PhD student. You never forget the trauma, I can tell you that now. You won't be traumatized, but you'll never forget it. Sometimes you feel like a second-class citizen. The university seems to revolve around undergraduates in so many ways. And of course, you're a student, but you're also teacher and employee. These roles are ones you have had to juggle. Sometimes they seem in conflict or maybe confusing. And the years you spent earning your PhD, those 6, 7, 8, 9, I won't say the next one because I hope none of you are there, but they have undoubtedly had many great highs and lows. But being a doctoral student is essential to a research university and our college. The faculty care deeply about you. You are our successors who generate knowledge and will teach future generations of students. Yet for many years, it has been difficult to get a coveted tenure-track job. So many of you will go into non-academic careers, and you might wonder if this investment of blood, sweat, and tears was really worth it. But I would say to you that wherever you end up career-wise, you should be proud of 2 great accomplishments, which prove you have much to show for the time you spent here at Temple. First, writing a dissertation is always a struggle. Ask anyone up here. They'll tell you their tales of woe, right? But you have met this challenge and rightfully deserve great satisfaction and celebration because you contributed to the advancement of knowledge. Even if you don't go to an academic career, your contribution to your discipline will stand. Second, our undergraduate students do not care what your title or category is. They're going to call you professor no matter what. All they care about is that you are good, right? And probably all of you have given a lot of time and energy to teaching our students. Although this was part of your apprenticeship, so to speak, it's much, much more than that. It's a vital contribution to the education of our students and the life of our college. Many of them will always remember you as an instructor that they cherish. So I simply want to thank you for all these contributions. They are your legacies. Today we are conferring 75 master's degrees in the College of Arts. We confer master's degrees with many names to them. We confer Masters of Arts, Masters of Fine Arts, Masters of Liberal Arts, Masters of Public Policy, Masters of Science, and a Professional Science Master's. For many master's students, the MA degree is a stepping stone to the PhD. And I hope you do not find terror in my description of a PhD student's life, but you are ready for this challenge if you take it on. But in CLA, a growing number of our master's students are doing this degree to advance their professional degrees, professional careers, whether it be writing short stories, developing better education policy, or laying the groundwork for more sustainable urban living. Many of you have stepped away from jobs to return to school to develop and expand your skill set, not only to move forward in your career, but to improve society for all of us. We are grateful to you that you chose Temple and this CLA for this important career step. But whether as a master's student you're preparing for a PhD program or professional career, your future success will be the best measuring stick of how well we have done our job. But today is all about celebrating your tremendous accomplishment. So worry about tomorrow. So I end by simply congratulating you and wishing you all the success that you have dreamed of. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Deeg. I'd now like to introduce our faculty speaker, Rebecca T. Alpert. Dr. Alpert is a professor of religion at Temple University, was among the first women in America ordained as a rabbi at the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College in 1976. Her primary field of study is American Judaism in the 20th century, focusing on sports, race, and sexuality. Her best-known works include Like Bread at the Seder Plate, Jewish Lesbians and the Transformation of Tradition, Who's Torah, a concise guide to progressive Judaism, and most recently, Out of Left Field, Jews and Black Baseball. She was a recipient of Temple University's highest honor, the Great Teacher Award, a member of the Rabbinic Council of Jewish Voice for Peace, and a commissioner on the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations. She will be retiring from Temple in June of this year and is looking forward to being faculty emerita. Like many students before me, I am a recipient of her great teaching and mentorship. As a graduate student, she taught me how to do research and how to write and how not to write. She helped me create an academic community. As a professional mentor, she has taught me how to build lasting and meaningful relationships. I'm so grateful to have had her as part of my graduate program and part of my professional career, and I'm thankful to have her as a friend beyond that. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rebecca Alpert.
I haven't gotten any taller. But I didn't shrink, so. Graduation is a time for leaving, but not entirely, of course. I have for some time been, and all of you will momentarily become, alumni, and thus forever part of this institution's history and legacy. We live in a world that has made it both easier and harder to feel that connection, living in the middle of the most dramatic set of changes in my lifetime, and I imagine also in yours. I'm not the kind of person who appreciates forecasting the future. I don't actually believe anybody's really very good at it, except maybe Octavia Butler and the author of Station 11, who presciently predicted this pandemic. To be fair, so did a lot of public health experts, but I appreciated their warnings and the way they love to think down the road. I actually have a pretty strong aversion to prognostication. I don't do fortune telling or astrology, don't read much science fiction, definitely don't gamble. And I don't have too much faith in political polling, and weather forecasts, don't always work right, and I have not been a fan of long-range planning. Or the NFL draft. Remember, Tom Brady was the 199th overall pick. Anyway, I do recognize the difference between imaginative and scientific guesswork, and give some credence to the scientific, well, maybe some to the imaginative too. Maybe that's why, in contrast, studying the past and history and living in the present appeals to me. So the daily work of teaching and academic administration and the modern Buddhist focus on mindfulness that teaches us to stay in the moment. Not that we shouldn't plan, but my favorite aphorism is the one that describes making plans as a great way to make God laugh, something the pandemic proved the ultimate truth of, I fear. So, unlike graduation talks often do, I don't want to focus my brief remarks on where you're going or where we're going as a university, a country, a world, since I don't have a clue. But rather, I want to talk about what this experience here at Temple has meant, given the odd circumstances of the past few years. I hope these years, and the many, as Dean Deeg pointed out, that preceded it for the doctoral students who've been here for a while, have given you what graduate school is meant to give. The opportunity, the luxury really, to have the time to think deeply about things that matter to you, the range of which dizzies me when looking at the titles of your dissertations and the array of departments where you've gotten your master's degrees. What teaching during the pandemic has done for me is made me focus on what matters to me and take stock of where I can stand still in this tumultuous world that is spinning madly now. I found what I was looking for by teaching one of our required undergraduate intellectual heritage courses, The Good Life. I asked students at the beginning of the semester what made their lives good, and then for the culminating projects to create a Good Life handbook, looking at what changed for them over the semester because of what they read and discussed together. I thought it only fair to do the same myself, and I'd like to share that with you today. So what I said to them was, when I was growing up, I attended a synagogue housed in a beautiful old building. These words from the Hebrew Bible, the writings of the prophet Micah, were carved out in good King James English. It hath been told thee, O man, what is good, and what the Lord doth require of thee, only to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. If I had to sum up my understanding of the good life, I would say it was contained in that verse. Although as I grew older, learned more Hebrew, became a feminist, and lost my belief in a supernatural God, I decided I should make a new translation for myself. And taking the power and license of the translator, I interpret Micah to be telling us to seek justice, which means to me to strive to make the world a good place for everyone, to love well, meaning making strong relationships founded on reciprocity and compassion, and to tread gently as you walk through the world, meaning notice, appreciate, and care for yourselves and the amazing planet we live on. What I found in the texts we read together, I told them, and their responses to them reaffirm my belief that following Micah's threefold path is how I can live a good life. For me, seeking justice has meant contributing to the fight for racial justice by remembering the wrongs our country has done to people of African descent, connecting that history to the present efforts to bring about real change, and making sure people understand the need for reparations and that our schools need to teach about that history. Seeking justice has also meant a commitment to supporting the efforts of the Palestinian people to end Israel's occupation of the West Bank and Gaza, achieve equal rights for Palestinian citizens who live in Israel, and acknowledge Palestinian refugees' rights to return to their own homes. And as we were reminded just yesterday, making sure that safe, legal abortions are accessible in our country. Loving well has meant staying connected to the friends and family and colleagues who have remained close during these difficult times, caring for them and appreciating the way they have cared for me, celebrating with them when possible, and grieving with them steadfastly, if too frequently. Treading gently in the world has meant becoming less anthropocentric, not to diminish how much I love humans, but rather developing a new awareness of life's fragility and a new appreciation for animals and plants and simply living on this planet. I hope these thoughts have encouraged you to take stock of what living a good life means for you as you prepare, as Bob Dylan put it, to step to the stage to pick up your degree. For him, in that moment, he was listening as the locusts sang off in the distance. Yeah, the locusts sang such a sweet melody. Oh, the locusts sang off in the distance. Yeah, the locusts sang, and they were singing for me. I hope you hear your own sweet sounds that are singing for you now as your name is called, and know that this moment is a time to celebrate your good life.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alpert. Next up, we have our student address. Each year, we call for student applications to take up the task, or burden perhaps, of addressing our graduating students. This year, I'm excited to introduce Jalen Buxton Punch. Before joining our Master of Public Policy program, Jalen began her career through a fulfilling year in AmeriCorps after completing her Bachelor's of Science at Howard University. During her time at Temple, she co-founded the Temple University Coalition for Black Graduate Students, and most recently was a policy analyst at Bellevue Strategies, in which she supported the work of Bellevue Government Relations and Public Affairs Division through conducting research, providing data evaluation, and crafting strategic communications. Before joining Bellevue, Jalen served as an associate for a bipartisan consulting firm in Washington, D.C. Please join me in welcoming Jalen Buxton Punch.
Good morning. Gotcha. Much like that experience at Temple, it took me a while to get my bearings, but we're here now. So before I begin, I just want to thank the staff, the administration, and all of our professors who have joined together in creating this beautiful experience of celebration for us today. Thank you. Aside from serving as advisors, you've served as ad hoc IT specialists, community coordinators, and magicians, really, for these past 2 years. Thank you for your tremendous support, attention, and time as we navigated a rapidly evolving school and home atmosphere. I also want to take this opportunity to thank God and acknowledge none of this would be possible without the support of my family, especially my parents, who sacrificed their all and more for me to get here today. My siblings, who've guided and protected me through every minor and major decision in my life. And of course, my closest and nearest friends, who've nurtured and sustained me with such joy and patience and love. This moment is for all of you too. My name is Jalen Nyana Buxton Punch, and I am proud to be a Temple Hour in the Master of Public Policy program at the College of Liberal Arts. To my fellow graduates, the PhDs, the Masters of Arts, the Masters of Fine Arts, the Masters of Liberal Arts, my fellow MPPs, the Masters of Science, and the Professional Science Masters candidates, congratulations and welcome to your moment. Honestly, I hope you feel the worthiness of your accomplishments and relish in the sweetness of your victory. Every CLA graduate in this room has an incredible story, a journey that had triumphs, turmoil, tears, many, many tears, and now tassels. We have proven just what it means to embody the very motto of our institution, perseverance conquers. We have struggled to make and find our academic communities during this pandemic, but still we have endured to establish ourselves as top scholars in our field, community activists, leaders, research scientists, creative writers, and public policy experts. Through perseverance, we have conquered what at times felt like an impossible goal, and now this moment belongs to us all. This moment is for the doctoral student who moved across the country to study clinical psychology, perhaps only to do so in a Zoom room, but still did it anyway. This moment is for the MFA who worked full-time, and sometimes a part-time gig too on stage, and still made it to class ready to contribute to a creative community. This moment is for the graduate students who took an extra semester, or 2, or maybe 3, but there was a pandemic happening, or maybe a panini, as the kids say. This moment is for every graduate student who had felt at times like they were too much or not enough, perhaps that they were unworthy or imposters to their pursuits, yet have now discovered the depths of their characters and displayed their capabilities through due diligence. This moment is for you. In life, we have moments that define the core of our lives. I ask that you recognize our graduation today as one of your moments, and not just the tribulations that we experienced to get here. Together, we have seen an extraordinary amount of change. We've recently begun to usher in a season of acceptance of inclusion, and this progress is evident from the appointment of Vice President Harris to Supreme Court Justice Jackson, or even here on campus. In the first all-female-led cabinet of Temple University, which was led by one of our very own graduates today, Francesca Capozzi. Or maybe we have seen this tenacity and resilience in so many of the younger graduates today who have chosen to pursue their degree and continue on through a +1 program even though they were younger and at times felt as if there were not many opportunities that would hold their door open for their careers. So to Bailey Tracy, Taylor Stenley, Janae Green, Francesca Capozzi, congratulations, and thank you for continuing. I hope this notion of positive change is also evident in my own actions during my time here in the MPP program as co-founder of the Coalition of Black Graduate Students. So wherever you are, I hope that you continue to seek space and create space for other people around you. Even though we have more steps on our path toward equity, I urge you to take the opportunity to celebrate where we are and what we've done. Marian Anderson said our light, not our darkness, most frightens us, and I assure you that we needn't be afraid of the brightness before us. My fellow graduates, I am so proud of you all, and not because you've earned the degrees that go behind your names. I am proud of how you have persevered. I am proud of who you have become. I am proud of how we will affect change in the world beyond Temple and the College of Liberal Arts. Together, we have proven we can persevere. For that, today we celebrate, and tomorrow, we'll continue to work for equal pay, for social justice, for anti-racist policies, for healthcare and prison reform, and many, many more equal rights that won't stop at today's fight. Thank you to my fellow owls for letting me celebrate you in this moment and for being honored enough to be your class speaker. I hope you soar higher than your wildest imaginations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Jalen. Another round for Jalen, please. Okay, so we have now arrived at the part of the ceremony in which we confer the doctoral and master's degrees for the College of Liberal Arts. Starting with the PhD students, who will be hooded by their faculty advisors, we will then move to recognize our Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Liberal Arts. I feel like we've read this list a million times, but we're going to do it again. Master of Public Policy, Master of Science, and Professional Science Masters. So as our first line is lining up, some instructions for both our doctoral students and faculty. When your name is called, you will move to the center of the stage and pass your hood, which is on your arm, to your faculty member. You will then turn to face your beautiful friends and family. And for those on the taller side, I would recommend slouching a bit so that your faculty member can actually get your hood over your head. Stephen, I'm looking at you in particular. Mortar boards and TAMs will definitely get knocked off, but don't worry, we have really great photographers who will capture those moments. And you will also stop in the middle to get a certificate from the dean. No handshaking, but a certificate. And then once you walk off stage, you'll get another picture taken before returning to your seats. Master students, while you are not being hooded, you will still stop at the middle of the stage, get your certificate, and then another picture at the bottom of the stairs. Friends, family, and faculty, clapping, cheering, shouting, general celebratory noise is highly encouraged, so please do so. Okay. All right, are you ready? Okay. So our first doctoral student is Carla Keenan Anderson. Thanks. Carla's dissertation is Reading Trauma in Contemporary Northern Irish and Irish Poetry, hooded by Dr. Miles Orville. Next up, Corinne Patricia Bart from Psychology. Her dissertation, yes. Her dissertation title is Neural Reward Functioning in Bipolar Spectrum Disorders and Substance Abuse Disorders, Identifying Common Mechanisms, hooded by Dr. Lauren Alloy. Next up, Dr. Juwan Z. Bennett. Criminal justice. Juwan's dissertation is Life After Life, a narrative review of incarceration and reentry experiences of children sentenced to life without parole in Pennsylvania, hooded by Dr. Jeffrey T. Ward. Okay, next up, Eva D. Bowler from Africology and African American Studies. Her dissertation title is An Afrocentric Analysis of the Philosophies of Howard Thurman, hooded by Dr. Molefi Asante. Ready? Next up, Jordan Page Davis. Psychology. Jordan's dissertation is Therapy, Homework, Compliance, and Treatment Outcome in Anxious Youth, hooded by Dr. Philip C. Kendall. Okay, next up is Stephen T. Dickinson, Geography and Urban Studies. Stephen's dissertation is Exploring Green Gentrification. Exploring Green Gentrification in Established Urban Parks, a study of Philadelphia neighborhood parks, hooded by Dr. Hamill Pearsall. Martha? Okay. Next up, Martha K. Falgren, Psychology. Her dissertation title is Therapeutic Alliance and Treatment Outcome in Cognitive, Behavioral, and Supportive Psychotherapy for Intermittent Explosive Disorder, hooded by Dr. Michael McCloskey. Okay, ready? Janika Shana Hardiman. Chana? Chane, thank you, folks. Janika Chana Hardiman. Psychology. Her dissertation title is Profiles of Callous, Unemotional Behaviors, Conduct Problems, and Internalizing Behaviors Among Low-Income Urban Youth, hooded by Dr. Deborah Drabick. Next up, we have John Charles Habert, Political Science. John's dissertation is Gamblers and Merchants, the Politics of Implementing Post-Crisis OTC Regulatory Reform, the US and EU, hooded by our own Dr. Richard Deeg. Next up, Corey C. Holland, History. Dissertation title, Infinitely Important Objects, Strategy, Authority, and the Aftermath of Colonialism at West Point in the American Revolution, hooded by Dr. Gregory Irwin. Next up, Ariel Horenstein, Psychology. Ariel's dissertation is Social Anxiety and Contraceptive Use in Non-Clinical Female Sample, hooded by Dr. Richard Heimberg. Next up, we have Timothy J. Loftus, Religion. Timothy's dissertation is the 3 Jewels of Dr. B.R. Embekar, Buddhism from the Margins, hooded by Dr. Douglas S. Duckworth. All right, next up is Kushdeep Malhotra, Geography and Urban Studies. Kushdeep's dissertation title is Precarious Citizens, Expected State, Sikh Rootedness in Kashmir After, I'm going to butcher this, Chiktapapura massacre, hooded by Dr. Shanjoy Chakravarti. Thank you. I practice so much and it just doesn't come out sometimes. Okay, next up we have Sean D. McGee, history. Dissertation title, Suffering in the Common Cause, the Continental Association and the Political Transformation of American Subjects to Citizens During the Coercive Acts Crisis, 1774 to 1776, hooded by Dr. Gregory Irwin. Next up, we have Joanna Dawn Nielsen, psychology. Joanna's dissertation is Neurodevelopment Pathways to Depression in Adolescence, Socioeconomic Status, Cortical Structure, and Depression Symptoms, hooded by Dr. Thomas Alino. Okay. Next up, we have Sophie Alexandra Palletz-Bunowitz. Is that okay? Okay. Psychology. Sophie's dissertation title is The Relationship Between Therapist Behavior During Exposure Task and Treatment Outcomes for Anxious Youth, hooded by Dr. Philip Kendall. Next up, we have Eric Pernovic, history. Eric's dissertation title is Ex Machina, the Lockheed F-104G starfighter, the Federal Republic of Germany, and the European military aviation sector, 1955 to 1975, hooded by Dr. J. Lochenauer. Next up, we have Nicholas Adam Robinson, political science. Nicholas's dissertation is Community Benefits Agreement and the Limit of Institutional Citizenship in Urban Redevelopment, hooded by Dr. Heath Davis. Next up, we have Matthew Ellis Simmons, Africology and African American Studies. Matthew's dissertation is Let Our Voices Be Heard, Black Middle Class Abstention and Political Maroonage in Philadelphia, hooded by Dr. Effateo Flannery. Next up, we have Andre B. Toussaint, psychology. Andre's dissertation is Delineating the Mechanisms Underlying Addiction Vulnerability Using Multi-Generational Rodent Models, hooded by Dr. Matthew Wimmer. And our final doctoral student for today, Zuzanna Wachinak. Come pronounce it for me. There we go. Go ahead.
Zuzanna Katarzyna Wojcieszak.
There we go. Psychology. Thank you, Susanna. Zuzanna's dissertation is The Role of Stigma in Mechanisms of Psychotherapy Outcomes, a Longitudinal Study, hooded by Dr. Thomas Alino. Before we move on to our master's degrees, I would just like everyone to give our doctorates a hand. I expect you all to celebrate fiercely tonight, and please make everyone call you doctor, please. Okay. All right, so next up are our master's degree recipients, starting with our Master of Arts. Can come up. Okay, and as a reminder, you're gonna step in the center stage, grab your certificate, and then walk off stage and get another picture taken. So, first up, Sierra Tanae Austin, Criminal Justice. Paige Elizabeth Bartello, Public History. Jeanette Diane Bendoff, Public History. Tyler Jack Bergese, Sociology. Alexis Carrion, Sociology. Yuen Shen, Criminal Justice. Thomas E. Chiappetta, Criminal Justice. Sarah Grace Kosick, thank you, Criminal Justice. Catherine Mary D'Amato, Religious Studies. Descherto, yes, okay. Camille Ann Descherto, Criminal Justice. Galamba. Elizabeth Galamba, English. MLA? Yeah, okay. Allison Giatisco, Liberal Arts. Sarah Diane Enrica Jones, Criminal Justice. Lauren Mackenzie Kennedy, Public History. Miranda? Okay. Miranda Jane Lankis, English. Simone Janelle Sisk, Anthropology. Tursic. Kara Alexis Stephanie Tursic, Anthropology. Victoria Vasquez, Sociology. Anaya Veal, English. Alexander? Okay, so a round of applause for all of our Master of Arts. Next up, we have our Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. And first up, we have Alexander Ng, Creative Writing. Bridget Johnston, Creative Writing. Christopher? Got it. Sean McSpaden, Creative Writing. Christopher? Great. Christopher Qualiano, Creative Writing. Nicholas Wrigley, Creative Writing. And a round of applause for all of our Master of Fine Arts. Up next, we have our sole Master of Liberal Arts graduate, Jade Olivia Earl Denis. Up next are our Masters of Public Policy, and first up is Jalen Anaya Buxton Punch. Francesca Capozzi. Olivia Claire DeMarco, Public Policy. Aaron Dwyer, Public Policy. Stephanie Martha Etienne, Public Policy. Janae Elizabeth Green, Public Policy. Harry Henson, MPP, Public Policy. Donna Hendrickson, Public Policy. Catherine Stewart Paisley, Public Policy. Taylor Quinlan, yes. Taylor Quinlan, Public Policy. Taylor Stenley, Public Policy. Alexander Tepliakov, Public Policy. Bailey Tracy, Public Policy. Okay, a round of applause for our public policy. Next up, we have our Masters of Science, and all of these folks are in neuroscience, systems, behavior, and plasticity. I am not going to read that for each one, so we'll just say neuroscience. And first up, it is Maina Beauplan, neuroscience. Thank you. Devlin Eckhart, neuroscience. Nicole Elaine Lloyd. Lauren? Corey? Autumn Marie McBride. Lauren Elizabeth Rogers. Mariah Nicole Williams, neuroscience. A round of applause for our Master of Science. And last up are our professional science masters. And first up, Jeffrey Karmazin, thank you. Geographic Information Systems. Casey Smith, Geographic Information Systems. Michael Robert Ward, Geospatial Data Science. Corey Peterson, Neuroscience, Master of Science. We have one more. And Kate Ox, Geographic Information Systems, PSM. Please join me for one more round, or perhaps 10 more rounds of applause for our new doctoral and master's students in the College of Liberal Arts. Before we go, I would like to thank the wonderful CLA staff who coordinated such a beautiful event, our faculty. Without you, these students could not have done what they've done. Your knowledge, your expertise, your support, dedication, and mentorship has been integral. Thanks to our faculty speaker, Rebecca Alpert. We will miss you around campus. And student speaker, Jalen Buxton Punch, for their inspiring words. And friends and family, thank you for celebrating with us this morning. Graduates, it is now time to move your tassels from the one side to the left, the right to the left. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you. I want to sincerely apologize for butchering any of your names or dissertation titles. What we're going to do now is faculty will process out, and then that will be the end of the ceremony. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful time celebrating, and congratulations to our graduates again.